Let's go to Justin Marshall and talk all about it. Graham will be with you just after that, mate. Hold the line. Justin, always a pleasure, mate. Another round of Six Nations. And guess what? We're talking about the TMO again. And, you know, this Scotland-France game, first and foremost, was it a try at the end? I'll tell you what I thought. I thought initially yes. And then the more I watched the replays and the slow-mo replays, the more I started to get my doubts. And then the end, I thought they could easily have awarded that and they could easily not have awarded it.
Absolutely. And again, like, the difficulty in it is relying on television camera angles and actually finding the pivotal point of when you can see the ball on the ground. And unfortunately, sometimes that's just not clear and obvious. And I think probably the problem with officialdom at the moment is the fact that the way that they are governing it is that the referee, first of all, asked a question. And the referee asked a simple question, didn't he? Which was, I haven't seen a grounding. Have you? And that all of a sudden means that the TMO has to actually see a clear grounding. Now, I'd slightly disagree with you. I felt that at a time you could clearly see that the ball went off the boot, and if it didn't hit the grass, what else could it hit? So I certainly felt that there was probably clear evidence here that there was a try. But equally, the TMO is also thinking, in my mind, the referee's told me he hasn't seen it on the ground. So if he's not seen ball on grass, then how can I conclusively say that I have, given the images that we're all watching? So, yeah, it's a bit messy, to be honest, Marty. Like, I think if the referee just goes and says, try or no try, you know, and then the TMO is not influenced. He's looking at all the pictures we're all looking at. He's probably got slightly better technology. At the end of the day, if he can find a way to award it or not award it, at least the referee hasn't given him any ability to get out of jail. And that's what happened at the weekend. The referee gave him a chance to get out of jail, and he said, well, you know, we're all thinking, is it down or not? And in the finish, he went and said, well, you didn't see it, and I can't say that I have. So maybe, again, we talked about laws last week. We're talking about some tweaking now, but all of them are about making things easier and making sure we don't have massive controversy.
Look, and that's what everyone wants to avoid, because what we want to be talking about is the actual games and the quality of the games and the players involved. We don't want to be talking about... Look, I mean, I hate to say it, and I don't want to be personal, I don't want to be mean, but I look at Nick Berry, the referee, and the first thing I think of is how many times do you look at yourself in the mirror every day, mate? You know, and I just wonder with a lot of these referees whether they actually believe the game is about them. And look, ultimately, it's about the entertainment factor, and the entertainment factor is scoring tries. And I think they should be looking at every possible way to go, that is a try, because that's what the crowd wants, isn't it?
It is, but ultimately, you're basically sealing France's fate, or you're actually, elevating Scotland's, because after a great start in Wales, all of a sudden they're 2-2, and they are looking like they could possibly win a Six Nations for a long time, in a long time. Equally, you don't award it to France, and they're 2-0, and they're out of the competition. You know, the ramifications of this one particular decision in the micro minutes of the game are massive. And so the pressure is immense. And again, I just feel that if they can actually just find a way around making it all responsible sort of in one particular area and just say, okay, righto, let's just look at it as what it is. We've got the technology. We'll let the technology see or not see. But ultimately, if you've got guidance coming from the angle where they're forcing the referee to say he has to say what he feels he's seen, and he could have been down on his knee 1 second too late where he didn't see the grounding. You know, he could have been down early but not seen a knock on, but seen the ball on the ground. All these different dynamics come into it. It's just massive. If the technology is just use it, don't put the referee under the bus. There's no point to.
No, that's right.
I think that will help, and then it will help, I guess, whatever decision they come to, it's solely on technology, and then everybody can kind of just go, oh, well, I felt I didn't, blah, blah, blah. But at least the referee gets a little bit of breathing space. So, look, at the end of the day, we talked about it last week with the red stuff, red card stuff, and I talked about Willemse, mate. Look what happened to him. He got 6 games, mate. Is that not punishment enough?
I wonder also, you know, that the referees are a bit gun-shy now, given the online abuse that Ben O'Keefe got and Wayne Barnes got and everything else. I just wonder whether in the back of their own minds they're a bit freaked out now about making the wrong decision. And it shouldn't be about making the wrong decision. You know, And we've almost created this for ourselves, haven't we? Big, with the advent of social media and the fact that everyone's got something to say about. In terms of the performance of both of those teams, Scotland and France, what is, and also the overall standard of this competition, what is impressing you?
Look, to be perfectly honest, after the first weekend, I was impressed. I certainly felt like, particularly the Wales-Scotland game was a game of two halves, but the two halves were distinctly quite different, where Wales just got into their work and played a type of game that they were supposed to play probably from the first minute, but didn't realise that until the maybe 48th. And Scotland just looked like a good side that under Finn Russell, if he's allowed a licence to play as captain and get players around him, they can combine directness with some talent. They've got some X factor like Van der Merwe and Co out in the outside channels. They're a good side. So my point is that when I watched the weekend's game and again the England-Wales game as well, Ireland obviously, if you haven't heard, they comprehensively won this morning against Italy. The second weekend was a little off. The first weekend was amazing. France-Ireland was amazing. Wales-Scotland again, cool. Italy put up a fight against England. But, mate, honestly, the England-Wales game was a bit of a drag for the first half. The only thing that kept it really interesting was the score. I certainly felt that the game in Scotland was a lot better, but I did feel that there was a buttoning off of, I guess, that quality. And it just makes you wonder, are the other... And I don't mean this disrespectfully, so sure. Let's just keep this in check. Yep. Because, I know what can happen. The referees get social media coming at them. Equally so do former players. But, France and Ireland, I think, are at a different level to a degree than Wales, England and Italy at the moment. And I just feel that because that matchup didn't happen this weekend, there was just a little bit of a drop-off in skill set, performance, tempo, physicality. But, hey, that's just me looking at it objectively and the way that I felt the second round played out.
Justin Marshall with us, 81 Test veteran of the All Blacks. She also scooted off to Bristol to watch the Crusaders play the Bristol Bears. It's a Super Rugby warm-up, and so... obviously in the end no one's going to remember the result, but what did you take away from that game?
Really enjoyed it for a start off, Marty. Ashton Gate, what a fantastic facility, reasonably new stadium. I can tell you, Marty, if you ever want to go there, go into the hospitality area, because I was very lucky to be there. So if you get that chance, it's something that you should definitely tick a box on. But really, really cool to see the interest. I certainly got the feedback equally from people from Munster and Ireland in general. I spoke to Steve Berwick, who's basically the guy that runs the Barbarians. So he's been the promoter for these two games, the Crusaders being here. And he happened to just be behind me where I was sitting at the ground watching the game. And he said Munster was a huge success and tonight has been as well. They've sold as many tickets as they possibly could. It's actually school holidays here, but still they've got a full crowd for Bristol and equally got a full house at Munster. The Crusaders have got pulling power, and it's been very good, not only for them in terms of being able to get people along and show interest, but equally, the Crusaders certainly have come over here with pedigree, and that's what they need. So I think it's been a success in terms of what they wanted to get out of it. I saw Rob Penny. I saw Pat Lamb, had a good chat to him.
He's a super dude. I love Pat. Great guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen Pat. Pat was in the first ever Crusaders team. 1996.
Was he?
We imported him from Auckland.
No.
Yeah, no, unbelievable way. He's telling a story about he had to come off he actually was a dirty, which is a guy that was outside of the 23 for the weekend, and he went out on the booze during the week, and then he got called in on game day. We got two players pull out, and he said, I tell you, it was the toughest 80 minutes of my life. I said, I remember that, Pat. And he said, Scott Robertson went off after 15 minutes, and he said, I had to play the whole game. So it was awesome to catch up with him. But my point is, this is what rugby's about. You bring people from past connected. Crusaders got affiliation. Zinzan Brooks, Super Rugby. Pat Lamb, now the Bristol coach of the Bears. The Crusaders are here. Munster, great history. You had that game, that the All Blacks played against
78.
Down so well. Now the Crusaders have been there. It's just awesome for the game, Marty. It was a great experience. I'm not going to go in depth into the game because it is pre-season. The Crusaders run out comprehensive winners in the finish. It was a pretty shitty first half, but they got better in the second. But in terms of rugby, you have to say it was a real success. And the players, because they're all young, they left the All Blacks behind. Mate, they've got to come over here in a Crusaders jersey and play in the UK against the two real superpowers of rugby over here in the Bears and Munster. So brilliant.